Imagine waking up in the middle of the night, your mind racing with worries about tomorrow, replaying the what-ifs and worst-case scenarios over and over. Anxiety can feel like a relentless storm, but what if there was a way to calm that storm, one that's been guiding people for over 2,000 years? Today, we're unveiling 20 powerful ways Stoicism, an ancient philosophy practiced by some of history's greatest minds, can help you conquer anxiety and find peace in the chaos of modern life. From understanding what truly lies within your control to embracing challenges as opportunities, Stoicism offers timeless strategies to anchor your mind and reclaim your inner balance. Whether you're battling sleepless nights or just seeking a little more clarity in an overwhelming world, this video will walk you through practical tools to face anxiety head-on, one Stoic principle at a time. Let's dive in and explore how ancient wisdom can transform your modern life. Now turning to the first way Stoicism can help us tackle anxiety, understanding what's in your control. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies the dichotomy of control, a simple yet profound principle that divides the world into two categories: what you can control and what you cannot. Often, anxiety creeps in when we obsess over things that fall outside of our control, like the outcome of a job interview, other people's opinions, or even something as mundane as tomorrow's weather. By redirecting your energy toward what you can control, like your preparation, your reactions, or your perspective, you immediately lighten the mental load. For example, instead of endlessly worrying about whether it might rain on the day of an outdoor event, shift your focus to what you can do, like carrying an umbrella or adjusting your plans. This small adjustment not only reframes your thoughts but also gives you a sense of agency, which can dissolve much of the helplessness that fuels anxiety. The great Stoic thinker Epictetus reminds us that we are only truly free when we stop trying to control the uncontrollable. Recognizing this distinction is not about ignoring problems, but about empowering yourself to focus on actions that make a real difference. It's a practice that can transform your mindset and set the stage for a calmer, more grounded approach to life. Moving forward, let's expand on this idea of control with a practical exercise inspired by the teachings of Epictetus. Take a moment to write down all the things that are currently causing you anxiety or unease. Be as specific as possible, whether it's about an upcoming deadline, a strained relationship, or even global events. Now divide these worries into two separate lists. On one list, write down the things you have direct control over, like your actions, decisions, or the effort you put into a task. On the other list, jot down everything outside your control, such as other people's choices, natural events, or outcomes that depend on factors beyond your influence. As you review these lists, notice how much of your anxiety often stems from the second category, things you can't control. This simple act of categorization is incredibly powerful. It helps you visually separate what's actionable from what's not, giving you clarity and a sense of direction. For example, if you're anxious about a job interview, you can focus your energy on preparing thoroughly, practicing your responses, and presenting yourself confidently, areas you can control. Meanwhile, you can let go of ruminating about whether the interviewer will like you or how many other candidates they're considering. This exercise trains your mind to focus on what's within your influence, transforming anxiety into actionable steps and freeing you from the mental clutter of fixating on the uncontrollable. By adopting this habit regularly, you begin to reshape your thought patterns and reclaim your peace of mind. Now turning to the next powerful tool in Stoicism, let's explore the practice of negative visualization, or what the Stoics called premeditatio malorum. At first, the idea of deliberately imagining worst-case scenarios might seem counterproductive, but this technique is deeply rooted in preparing the mind for life's uncertainties. By anticipating potential challenges, you can reduce your anxiety when faced with difficulties because you've already mentally equipped yourself to handle them. Imagine you're preparing for an important presentation at work. Instead of solely focusing on everything going perfectly, take a moment to calmly envision some of the things that could go wrong. Perhaps the projector malfunctions or someone raises a question you don't immediately know how to answer. Now, instead of spiraling into panic, think about how you would respond in those situations. You could prepare a printed copy of your slides as a backup or practice calmly addressing unexpected questions with honesty and composure. By walking through these scenarios in your mind, you're not dwelling on negativity but rather building a sense of resilience. This exercise shifts your mindset from fear of the unknown to confidence in your ability to adapt. Negative visualization empowers you to face uncertainties with readiness and reduces the shock of unexpected events, making life's challenges less overwhelming and more manageable. Moving forward, let's see how you can apply negative visualization in your daily life to tackle common sources of stress and foster resilience. Think about something as routine as your daily commute. Instead of assuming everything will go smoothly, take a moment beforehand to imagine possible delays like heavy traffic or a missed train. Now, consider how you would handle these situations calmly. Perhaps you could leave a bit earlier or carry a book or podcast to make use of any unexpected downtime. By preparing your mind in this way, you're less likely to feel overwhelmed if things don't go as planned. The same principle can apply to financial stress. Imagine receiving an unforeseen expense like your car needing a sudden repair. Rather than letting the thought send you into a spiral of worry, think about practical steps you could take. Perhaps it's setting aside a small emergency fund or reevaluating certain spending habits. This practice isn't about dwelling on negatives but equipping yourself mentally and emotionally to adapt when life throws curveballs. The beauty of negative visualization lies in its ability to shift your focus from fear to preparation, giving you a sense of control even in unpredictable situations. It's this proactive mindset that reduces anxiety and helps you approach challenges with clarity and confidence. Now turning to the concept of Amor Fati, which translates to love of fate, we uncover one of the most liberating ideas in Stoicism. At its core, Amor Fati encourages us to not only accept everything that happens in life, but to embrace it wholeheartedly as necessary and beneficial. This might sound challenging, especially when faced with adversity, but let's unpack how this mindset can transform the way we approach anxiety. Often, our resistance to reality, the frustration over what should or should not happen, becomes a significant source of stress. When we mentally push against circumstances, wishing things were different, we amplify our distress and create unnecessary friction with the present moment. Imagine encountering an unexpected obstacle, like a cancelled flight ruining your vacation plans. The initial disappointment is natural, but resisting the situation by ruminating over how unfair or inconvenient it feels only deepens your frustration. Amor Fati invites us to view this obstacle not as a hindrance but as a part of the journey, a piece of the tapestry of life that serves a purpose, even if that purpose isn't immediately clear. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and one of the most famous Stoics, reminds us in his writings that a blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything thrown into it. This metaphor teaches us to transform life's challenges into fuel for growth. Instead of lamenting what happens, we can ask ourselves, how can I use this to become stronger, wiser, or more resilient? By aligning ourselves with reality rather than resisting it, we dissolve much of the tension that fuels anxiety. Amor Fati doesn't mean passive resignation or pretending everything is perfect. It's about embracing life as it unfolds, finding meaning in every experience, and trusting that each moment, whether joyful or difficult, is an essential part of your path. This perspective shifts your focus from what's wrong to how you can adapt, thrive, and grow, ultimately fostering peace of mind. With this powerful principle in mind, let us now see how we can turn even the most challenging obstacles into opportunities for personal growth. With the next phase of the journey in sight, let us explore how Amor Fati empowers us to turn life's obstacles into remarkable opportunities for growth. Imagine losing a job, a situation that many would view as devastating. The initial reaction might be panic or self-doubt, but through the lens of Amor Fati, this event can be reframed as a new beginning. Instead of dwelling on what is lost, you might ask, what new possibilities does this open up for me? Perhaps it's a chance to pursue a career path more aligned with your passions or to develop skills that were previously neglected. This perspective not only reduces the anxiety surrounding change, but also cultivates a mindset of resilience and adaptability. Similarly, consider the sting of rejection, whether it's from a relationship, a promotion, or an opportunity you deeply desired. While rejection often triggers feelings of inadequacy, Amor Fati teaches us to embrace it as a stepping stone rather than a roadblock. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that events in life do not obstruct us, they are opportunities to act. A failed relationship, for instance, could provide valuable lessons about your needs, priorities, or areas for personal growth. It may even lead you to stronger, more fulfilling connections in the future. Rejection, in this sense, becomes a teacher rather than a verdict on your worth. By adopting the mindset of Amor Fati, we train our minds to see challenges as gifts in disguise, each carrying the potential to shape us into stronger, wiser, and more resilient individuals. This shift not only alleviates the weight of anxiety, but fosters a proactive approach to life's uncertainties. As we embrace this transformative principle, we move toward the next Stoic insight, the power of presence and how it teaches us to find calm amidst the storm of anxious thoughts. With the next phase of the journey in sight, let us explore the power of presence and how it serves as a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. At its heart, Stoicism emphasizes the importance of focusing on the present moment, a principle that not only aligns with modern mindfulness practices, but also offers profound relief from anxiety. Think about it. How often does anxiety arise because our minds are trapped in the past, replaying regrets or mistakes, or because we are consumed by fears of an uncertain future? Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic thinkers, advises us to confine yourself to the present. This simple yet transformative insight invites us to channel our energy into what is happening right now, rather than allowing our thoughts to drift into times we cannot control. Imagine you are overwhelmed by a looming deadline. Anxiety might tempt you to fixate on past failures or catastrophize the future. But by anchoring yourself in the present, you can shift your focus to what can be done today, in this moment, to make progress. This practice not only quiets the mind, but also empowers you to take meaningful, deliberate action. Similarly, consider moments when you find yourself ruminating on a past conversation or obsessing over what someone might think of you. These thoughts, while tempting, pull you away from the opportunities and peace available in the present. By reminding yourself to confine yourself to the present, as Marcus Aurelius suggests, you learn to let go of the unnecessary mental turmoil and instead engage with the here and now. This simple shift in perspective has the power to dissolve the chains of anxiety and replace them with clarity and calmness. As we continue, we will uncover ways to apply this presence in particularly stressful situations, providing you with practical tools to navigate life's challenges with grace and focus. Moving forward, let us explore how to apply the power of presence in particularly stressful situations. When anxiety strikes, it often pulls us into a whirlwind of unproductive thoughts, compounding our stress and making it difficult to think clearly. One practical Stoic exercise to ground yourself in the present moment is to focus deeply on the sensations around you. For instance, if you are feeling overwhelmed, pause and take a moment to notice the feel of the air on your skin, the sounds surrounding you, the texture of the chair you are sitting on, or even the rhythm of your own breath. Grounding your awareness in these physical sensations helps to anchor your mind and draw it away from anxious spirals. Another powerful tool from Stoic practice is reciting calming affirmations that reinforce control and clarity. Phrases inspired by Stoicism, such as, "I have the strength to face this moment," or "I can only control my actions, not the outcome," serve as mental anchors during challenging times. Repeating these affirmations not only calms the mind, but also helps you reframe the situation with a perspective rooted in Stoic principles. Imagine you are stuck in heavy traffic on the way to an important meeting. Instead of spiraling into frustration over the delay or worrying about the impression you will make when you arrive, use this as an opportunity for grounding. Notice the sound of the engine, the feeling of the steering wheel in your hands, and take a few deep breaths. You can even remind yourself with a Stoic thought like, "I cannot control the traffic, but I can control my response to it." This shift in focus allows you to respond to the situation with calmness and clarity. Similarly, during moments of interpersonal conflict, grounding yourself in the present by focusing on your surroundings or silently reciting a Stoic affirmation can help you stay composed and avoid reacting impulsively. These practical tools not only soften the immediate impact of stress, but also train your mind to approach future challenges with greater resilience and equanimity. As we delve deeper, we will uncover yet another transformative Stoic practice that has the potential to declutter your mind and tame the chaos of anxiety: the art of journaling. Now turning to the practice of journaling, let's explore how this simple yet profound tool, deeply rooted in Stoicism, can help manage anxious thoughts. The act of writing down your worries serves as a way to untangle the web of emotions and scattered ideas that often accompany anxiety. When faced with a surge of troubling thoughts, putting pen to paper allows you to externalize those feelings, making them more manageable and less overwhelming. Seneca, one of the most notable Stoic philosophers, often spoke about the value of self-reflection through writing. He used this practice to examine his own fears, evaluate his actions, and reinforce his commitment to Stoic principles. By journaling, you create space to process your emotions objectively and identify patterns in your thinking that may be fueling your anxiety. For example, you might notice that a recurring fear of failure stems from unrealistic expectations you've set for yourself, or that your worries often revolve around things beyond your control. This clarity empowers you to challenge those thoughts and replace them with more grounded, rational perspectives. Journaling also provides an opportunity to practice gratitude and reframe challenges as opportunities for growth. Imagine ending your day by writing about a moment that initially caused stress but ultimately taught you resilience or patience. This reinforces a Stoic mindset, helping you see value in life's difficulties rather than being consumed by them. More than just a tool for releasing tension, journaling is a form of active problem solving that aligns with Stoic teachings. It encourages you to question your judgments, re-examine your priorities, and focus your energy on what truly matters. As we continue our journey through Stoic practices, we will next uncover how embracing voluntary discomfort can build resilience and further diminish the grip of anxiety. With the next phase of our exploration, let's delve into an evening reflection exercise, a practical way to integrate Stoic journaling into your nightly routine. As your day winds down, set aside a few quiet moments to sit with a notebook or journal. Begin by reflecting on the events of the day, both the highs and the lows, and write down what stands out most in your mind. When addressing moments of anxiety or stress, ask yourself what triggered these feelings. Were they rooted in something within your control or beyond it? This simple question, inspired by the Stoic dichotomy of control, can help you separate productive concerns from unnecessary worries. Next, evaluate your responses to these moments. Did you act in alignment with your values, or were there ways you could have handled things more wisely or calmly? Be honest with yourself, but avoid judgment or self-criticism. The purpose of this reflection is growth, not perfection. Afterward, shift your focus to gratitude. Write down at least one thing you are grateful for from the day. It could be a small gesture of kindness from someone, a pleasant moment you experienced, or even a challenge that taught you a lesson. This practice of gratitude helps train your mind to focus on the positives, counterbalancing the tendency to dwell on the negative. To wrap up your journaling, write a short intention for the next day. This could be a Stoic principle you wish to embody, such as patience, courage, or self-discipline, or a simple affirmation like, "I will focus on what I can control and let go of what I cannot." By ending your day with this reflective exercise, you not only process your thoughts but also set a clear and mindful tone for tomorrow. This practice strengthens your ability to face life's uncertainties with a calm and balanced mind. As we turn to the next Stoic principle, we'll discover how voluntary discomfort can further build resilience and prepare us to navigate anxiety with greater confidence. Now turning to the practice of voluntary discomfort, this Stoic exercise is a powerful way to build resilience and reduce anxiety by intentionally exposing yourself to manageable challenges. The idea is simple but transformative. By choosing moments of controlled discomfort, you train your mind and body to face adversity with greater strength and calm. For example, fasting for a day or skipping a luxury you usually enjoy, like your morning coffee or a warm shower, are practical ways to embrace this principle. The purpose is not to punish yourself, but to remind yourself that you can endure life's difficulties with grace. By stepping outside of your comfort zone intentionally, you begin to understand that the things you often fear losing are not as essential as they may seem. This realization diminishes the power anxiety holds over you. When you experience these small moments of discomfort, your confidence grows and you start to believe in your ability to handle even bigger challenges. The key here is to start small and make it a regular habit. Each time you practice voluntary discomfort, you strengthen your mental toughness, proving to yourself that you are capable of weathering life's storms. As we continue, we'll explore how modern applications of this principle can help you cultivate even greater resilience in your daily life. Moving forward, let's delve into the modern applications of voluntary discomfort and how these practices can seamlessly fit into your everyday life. One simple yet effective approach is limiting your screen time. For instance, setting aside an hour or two each evening to intentionally disconnect from your phone or other devices can feel challenging at first, but it creates space for reflection and presence. These moments of stillness not only build your tolerance for discomfort, but also reduce anxiety that stems from constant digital overstimulation. Another powerful method is taking cold showers. While initially uncomfortable, this practice trains you to stay calm and composed in physically challenging situations. Over time, it enhances your ability to face stressors with a steady mind. You might also consider walking or biking instead of driving short distances, which introduces mild physical effort into your day. The goal of these modern practices isn't to eliminate convenience entirely, but to strengthen your capacity to endure and adapt. Each time you step into discomfort voluntarily, you cultivate resilience and self-discipline, proving to yourself that you can handle life's uncertainties without being overwhelmed. These small, intentional choices made regularly can transform how you approach challenges, fostering a mindset of strength and adaptability. With this foundation of modern voluntary discomfort in mind, our next step will explore the profound Stoic idea of impermanence and how recognizing the temporary nature of all things can bring peace to an anxious mind. Now turning to the Stoic idea of impermanence, let's explore how recognizing the temporary nature of all things can ease an anxious mind. At the core of this concept is the understanding that nothing in life is permanent. Not the joys we celebrate nor the challenges we endure. This perspective, often emphasized by the Stoic philosopher Seneca, reminds us that time is fleeting and ever-changing. By acknowledging this truth, we can begin to see anxiety in a new light. For instance, when you're in the midst of a difficult situation, like navigating a tense conversation or dealing with setbacks at work, the realization that this discomfort is temporary can be incredibly grounding. It helps you detach from the overwhelming intensity of the moment and replaces it with a sense of calm resilience. Similarly, when life is going well, the idea of impermanence encourages us to fully appreciate and savor those moments, knowing they won't last forever. This doesn't mean dwelling on loss, but instead cherishing what we have with greater awareness. Seneca once wrote that every new beginning comes from the end of some other beginning, a beautiful reminder that even as things change, there is always room for renewal and growth. By embracing this philosophy, you empower yourself to flow with the rhythm of life instead of resisting it. Anxiety often stems from clinging too tightly, whether it's to a situation we want to preserve or one we desperately want to escape. The Stoic practice of recognizing impermanence can ease this mental grip, bringing a sense of peace and acceptance. This mindset doesn't just help reduce anxiety, it also deepens your ability to live fully, appreciating each moment as a gift. Looking ahead, we'll reflect further on the beauty of impermanence and how it inspires gratitude for the present. Moving forward, let's reflect on how the Stoic understanding of impermanence can inspire a profound sense of gratitude for the present moment. When we recognize that nothing lasts forever, it shifts our perspective from taking things for granted to truly valuing each experience. For example, consider the time you spend with loved ones. Knowing that these moments are finite encourages you to be fully present, to listen more attentively, and to express your appreciation openly. This mindset transforms ordinary interactions into cherished memories. Similarly, during turbulent times, impermanence serves as a reminder that difficulties are not permanent fixtures in our lives. Instead of feeling trapped by challenges, we can find solace in the knowledge that they too will pass. This understanding can help you face hardships with greater composure and patience, knowing you'll eventually emerge on the other side. Gratitude rooted in impermanence also extends to the simpler joys of life, the warmth of the sun on your face, the taste of a favorite meal, or the comfort of a quiet morning. When you realize these small pleasures won't last forever, they become even more meaningful. The Stoic approach teaches us that by fully embracing the fleeting nature of life, we naturally cultivate thankfulness for what we have here and now. This gratitude not only soothes anxiety but also deepens our connection to the world around us, helping us live with greater intention and mindfulness. As we continue, let's explore another source of anxiety, the need for external validation, and how Stoicism guides us toward building inner confidence instead. Now turning to the challenge of external validation, let's consider how often anxiety is fueled by the urge to gain approval from others. This yearning for validation can manifest in countless ways. A nervous glance at the number of likes on a social media post, overanalyzing a conversation to ensure you made a good impression, or even hesitating to express yourself out of fear of judgment. Stoicism offers a liberating perspective on this. At its core is the belief that the opinions of others are entirely outside your control. What is within your control, however, is how you choose to respond to these opinions. Epictetus reminds us that it's not the external events or judgments that disturb us, but rather our perception of them. By internalizing this teaching, you shift your focus from what others think to what truly matters, your own principles and actions. Imagine this: someone criticizes you unfairly at work or on social media. Instead of spiraling into self-doubt, a Stoic approach encourages you to pause and consider, is this within my control? Am I acting with integrity? Does this opinion reflect who I truly am, or is it merely a projection of the other person's biases? By detaching from the weight of external opinions, you free yourself from the exhausting cycle of constantly seeking approval. This mindset can also be applied to social interactions. Rather than trying to please everyone, focus on aligning your actions with your values. For example, if you value honesty, prioritize being truthful over being liked. If you value kindness, let your actions reflect that, regardless of others' reactions. This shift in focus not only reduces anxiety, but also builds a steady foundation of self-respect and authenticity. By understanding that your self-worth isn't tied to the fleeting opinions of others, you reclaim your power. This is how Stoicism helps redirect your energy from chasing external validation to cultivating inner confidence. Speaking of confidence, let's next dive into how Stoicism provides actionable ways to build this inner strength through practical strategies. Moving forward, let's explore practical strategies for building inner confidence, an essential aspect of reducing anxiety. One of the most effective ways to cultivate self-worth without relying on external validation is through practicing self-affirmation. This involves deliberately reminding yourself of your strengths, values, and past achievements. For example, if you often doubt your abilities during social interactions or at work, take a moment to reflect on times when you handled challenges successfully. By acknowledging your progress, you create a mental foundation of resilience and self-belief. Another powerful method is to focus on living in alignment with your personal values. Start by identifying what truly matters to you. Is it honesty, kindness, perseverance, or something else? Once you've pinpointed these core values, use them as your compass. Let's say you value integrity. Making decisions based on this principle, even in the face of criticism, will reinforce your sense of authenticity and self-respect. This approach shifts your focus from seeking approval to honoring your own character. Over time, you'll notice how this deep respect for your inner self diminishes the power of external opinions to dictate your emotional state. Another practical step is to limit comparisons with others, which are often a hidden source of anxiety. Instead of measuring your success or happiness against someone else's life, celebrate your unique journey. Remember, the progress you've made may not look like someone else's, and that's okay. By valuing your individuality, you strengthen the foundation of confidence that isn't shaken by external influences. And finally, embrace imperfection as a natural part of being human. The pressure to be perfect is a major source of self-doubt and anxiety, but Stoicism teaches us to accept our flaws and learn from them. When you make a mistake, rather than letting it erode your confidence, treat it as an opportunity to grow. Acknowledge it calmly, learn the lesson it offers, and move forward with grace. These strategies, rooted in Stoic principles, empower you to build a sense of self-worth that is steady and independent of the changing tides of external validation. With this newfound confidence, let's now delve into another transformative Stoic practice, reframing anxiety with objective judgment. Now turning to the concept of reframing anxiety with objective judgment, we uncover a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy that helps us manage our emotional responses. The Stoics believed that events themselves are neutral. It's our interpretation of them that creates emotional reactions. As Epictetus famously stated, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This idea shifts the focus from external circumstances, which are often beyond our control, to the one thing we can always influence: our perspective. For example, imagine you're facing criticism at work. Instinctively, you might feel defensive or anxious, interpreting the critique as an attack on your abilities. However, by applying Stoic principles, you can step back and view the situation objectively. Ask yourself, what facts do I know? Is this feedback intended to help me improve? By reframing the criticism as constructive rather than personal, you reduce the emotional charge and can respond calmly and thoughtfully. Another way to practice objective judgment is by challenging assumptions and catastrophic thinking. If you're prone to imagining worst-case scenarios, pause and evaluate their likelihood. Suppose you're worried about an upcoming presentation. Instead of spiraling into anxiety by thinking, "I'll completely mess it up," question that thought. Is there evidence to support it? What's the most realistic outcome? This process of questioning your own judgments allows you to replace irrational fears with balanced, rational assessments. The beauty of seeing situations through an objective lens is that it creates mental clarity and emotional stability. You begin to realize that while you can't control every event, you can control the narrative you assign to it. This practice, when consistently applied, prevents anxiety from escalating and brings a sense of inner peace. Building this habit takes time and effort, but its impact on your thought patterns is profound. As we continue, let's explore how to train your mind to think this way, making objectivity a cornerstone of your daily life. With the next phase of the journey in sight, let's delve into how you can train your mind to adopt objective thinking, making it a daily habit that counters anxiety effectively. Start by identifying a specific anxious thought, perhaps one that has been recurring. For instance, let's say you're worried about an important meeting. The first step is to pause and write down the thought exactly as it occurs to you, like, "I'm going to fail miserably in front of everyone." This act of putting it into words helps externalize the fear, reducing its immediate emotional grip. Next, challenge the thought by asking questions. Is there solid evidence that supports this idea? Have I successfully handled similar situations before? What's the worst that could realistically happen? These questions disrupt the automatic negative assumptions, helping you assess the situation more logically. Then reframe the thought with a balanced perspective. Instead of saying, "I'll fail miserably, try." It's an opportunity to grow, and even if it doesn't go perfectly, I can learn and improve. This reframing replaces exaggerated fears with rational thinking, bringing you closer to a calm and composed mindset. Another effective exercise is to practice distancing yourself from the thought entirely. Picture it as a passing cloud or a message written in sand, something temporary and separate from who you are. By visualizing the thought like this, you reinforce the idea that your mental chatter doesn't define you, it's simply a fleeting process. Lastly, make it a routine to reflect on your progress. Spend a few minutes each evening reviewing moments where you successfully practiced objective judgment. Note how those moments felt and the outcomes they led to. This reflection not only reinforces the habit but also boosts your confidence in handling future anxious thoughts. With consistent practice, you'll find that objectivity becomes second nature, empowering you to navigate challenges with clarity and poise. Moving forward, let's explore how the role of virtue in Stoicism can further anchor your mind in times of anxiety. With the next phase of the journey in sight, let's turn our attention to the role of virtue in Stoicism and how it can serve as a stabilizing force during anxious moments. At the heart of Stoic philosophy lies the belief that living a virtuous life is the ultimate path to inner peace. Stoics define virtue through four key principles: wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. By embodying these values, we create a foundation for a life that is resilient to external chaos. Let's start with wisdom, the ability to see situations clearly and make decisions rooted in rationality, not fear. When anxiety strikes, wisdom prompts us to pause, assess, and respond with thoughtfulness rather than reacting impulsively. For instance, instead of dwelling on an uncertain outcome, wisdom guides us to focus on the actions we can take right now to influence it positively. Then there is courage, the strength to face challenges, fears, and uncertainties head-on. Anxiety often thrives on avoidance, but Stoicism encourages us to engage with difficulties directly, knowing that growth lies on the other side. Picture yourself preparing for a daunting task like public speaking. Courage is what allows you to step forward despite the butterflies in your stomach, reminding you that bravery is built through action, not the absence of fear. Justice, on the other hand, grounds us in integrity and fairness. It shifts the focus away from self-centered worries to a broader perspective of contributing to the greater good. When anxiety makes us feel isolated, justice encourages us to reconnect with others by offering kindness, understanding, or support. Even simple acts of fairness and compassion can dissolve feelings of unease, replacing them with a sense of purpose. Lastly, self-discipline helps us maintain control over our impulses and emotional responses. In moments of anxiety, it's easy to let our thoughts spiral or seek quick fixes for temporary relief. Self-discipline, however, teaches us to stay anchored, to breathe deeply, and to stick to principles that serve long-term well-being. Imagine the calm that comes from steadily working through a problem rather than succumbing to panic. Together, these virtues form a toolkit for navigating life's uncertainties with grace and strength. They act as a compass, keeping you aligned with what truly matters, even in the face of adversity. By striving to live virtuously, you cultivate an inner tranquility that no external circumstance can shake. As we move deeper into this journey, let's uncover how the specific virtue of courage can provide a powerful antidote to anxiety. Now turning to the next step, let's explore how the Stoic virtue of courage serves as a powerful tool in combating fear and uncertainty. Courage in Stoic philosophy is not about the absence of fear, but about taking action despite it. It's about choosing to face what we dread rather than allowing anxiety to dictate our lives. For example, imagine a situation where you need to have a difficult conversation with a colleague or loved one. Anxiety might tempt you to avoid it, letting the fear of conflict or rejection take control. But courage encourages you to step into that conversation with honesty and openness, knowing that addressing the issue directly is the first step toward resolution. Another example could be confronting personal fears, like trying something new or stepping out of your comfort zone. Whether it's signing up for a class you've always been curious about, or finally tackling a long-term goal that feels intimidating, courage is your ally. It reminds you that growth only happens when you push beyond your perceived limits. By practicing courage in small, everyday moments, you build a reservoir of inner strength that becomes invaluable during life's bigger challenges. And here's the beautiful part: each act of courage, no matter how small, adds to your confidence. It's like building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. This strength then empowers you to face future uncertainties with greater resilience and less anxiety. Courage, in essence, breaks the cycle of avoidance that anxiety often thrives on. It lights the way forward, proving to yourself that you are capable of enduring discomfort and emerging stronger on the other side. With a clearer understanding of courage, let's now delve into another profound practice in Stoicism: how gratitude can shift our focus and bring clarity during anxious moments. Now turning to the next phase, let's explore how the practice of gratitude, deeply rooted in Stoic philosophy, can help ease anxiety and foster a sense of calm. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we already have rather than fixating on what we lack. This perspective not only grounds us but also shifts our attention away from anxious thoughts to the positive aspects of our lives. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, often spoke about appreciating the present and recognizing the abundance already around us. He believed that by expressing gratitude, we learn to value what is truly important instead of being consumed by desires or fears of what we do not possess. For example, take a moment during a stressful day to consider even the simplest things you often overlook, like having a supportive friend, enjoying a meal, or even just witnessing a beautiful sunset. Shifting your focus to these small yet meaningful joys can act as a powerful antidote to anxiety. Gratitude creates space for contentment and helps to quiet the restless mind. It's not about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect, but rather about balancing your perspective. By regularly reflecting on what you are thankful for, you train your mind to see opportunities and blessings even in difficult times. This mental shift can reduce feelings of overwhelm and foster resilience. The beauty of this practice is its simplicity. You don't need to wait for grand moments to be grateful. Start small, perhaps by noting 3 things you appreciate at the end of each day. Over time, this habit reshapes your mindset, making gratitude your natural response instead of worry. It's a reminder that no matter how uncertain life feels, there is always something to cherish. With this in mind, let's now move forward and uncover how to put gratitude into action in moments of anxiety. With the next phase of the journey in sight, let's delve into how you can put gratitude into action, especially during moments of anxiety. One of the simplest yet most effective exercises is to start a gratitude journal. Whenever you feel anxiety creeping in, take a moment to write down 3 things you are grateful for. These don't have to be life-altering events. They can be as simple as a kind word from a friend, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, or even the comfort of your favorite tea. This act of writing shifts your thoughts from what's troubling you to what's uplifting and creates a tangible record you can revisit during tougher times. If writing isn't your style or you find yourself in a high-stress situation, try mentally listing 3 things you appreciate in that very moment. For example, during a challenging meeting, you might focus on the support of a team member, the opportunity to learn from the experience, or even just the deep breath you've taken to steady yourself. These small acts anchor you to the present and remind you that amidst the chaos, there are still reasons to feel thankful. Another powerful method is expressing your gratitude aloud or sharing it with someone else. Letting someone know you're grateful for their help or presence not only fosters connection, but also strengthens your awareness of positivity around you. Over time, integrating these habits into your daily life rewires your brain to naturally seek the good, even in difficult situations. This isn't about denying the reality of your challenges, but about training your mind to find balance, a way to counter anxiety with the grounding force of gratitude. And as you practice these steps, you'll notice how this mindset becomes an inner resource you can rely on. Now, as we move forward, let's explore how cultivating a routine and discipline, another cornerstone of Stoicism, can further reduce anxiety. Now turning to the value of routine and discipline, Stoicism teaches us that creating structure in our lives serves as a powerful anchor, especially during times of uncertainty or anxiety. The Stoics believed that a disciplined, well-organized life cultivates inner peace by reducing the chaos of unpredictability. Think of your daily routine as your own personal harbor, a safe, familiar space you can return to when the waves of life feel overwhelming. By establishing consistent habits, you remove many of the smaller, daily decisions that can add unnecessary stress. For example, starting your day with a set morning practice, like spending a few minutes reflecting on your priorities or preparing your mind for the challenges ahead, can set a tone of calm and focus. This predictability in your schedule gives you a sense of control, even amid external uncertainties. Imagine how anxiety can arise from a chaotic morning rush searching for keys, skipping breakfast, or feeling underprepared for the day ahead. With a solid routine, these stressors are minimized, allowing you to begin your day with a sense of readiness and steadiness. Beyond mornings, having disciplined habits across your day, such as designated times for work, rest, and self-reflection, helps you build a rhythm that balances productivity with peace. The beauty of routine lies in its ability to ground you, creating a dependable structure even when everything else feels uncertain. It's not about rigidly adhering to a schedule, but rather finding a flow that works for you, ensuring you have intentional moments to pause, recharge, and refocus. As we continue, let's dive into how crafting a Stoic-inspired morning routine can set the foundation for a disciplined and anxiety-free day. Now turning to crafting a Stoic-inspired morning routine, imagine beginning your day with a clear and focused mindset, free from the clutter of anxious thoughts. A well-designed morning routine grounded in Stoic principles can serve as the compass that guides you toward calm and intentional living. Start by dedicating a few quiet moments to reflection. You could think about virtues such as wisdom, courage, or self-discipline, and how you might embody these qualities throughout the day. For example, ask yourself, how can I approach today with patience and integrity? This simple act of reflection sets a tone of purpose and aligns your actions with your values. Next, consider setting intentions for your day ahead. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by your to-do list, focus on what is truly within your control. Identify one or two meaningful tasks you can accomplish that align with your priorities. This helps you stay grounded and eliminates the anxiety of trying to tackle everything at once. Incorporating a moment of gratitude can also be incredibly centering. Take a deep breath and think of something you are thankful for, whether it's the warmth of the morning sunlight or the opportunity to start fresh. Gratitude shifts your perspective, reminding you of the abundance in your life and drawing your attention away from unnecessary worries. Another effective practice is preparing your mind for challenges you might face during the day. Gracefully applying the Stoic idea of negative visualization, you could briefly envision potential obstacles like a difficult conversation or a hectic commute and remind yourself that you have the strength and patience to handle them. This isn't about dwelling on negatives but building resilience by knowing you are ready to face whatever comes your way. A Stoic-inspired morning might also include a practice like journaling, a space to articulate your thoughts, clarify goals, or jot down any anxieties crowding your mind. Putting these thoughts into words can help you see them more objectively, making it easier to approach your day with calm and clarity. Finally, keep your routine simple and consistent. It doesn't need to take hours or involve elaborate steps. The goal is to create a foundation of stability, a routine that works seamlessly with your life while anchoring you in peace and purpose. As we move ahead, let's reflect on the ancient Stoic practice of remembering mortality and how it can surprisingly provide a powerful lens to ease anxiety. Now turning to the Stoic practice of reflecting on mortality, known as memento mori, this ancient concept encourages us to remember that life is finite. At first glance, this might sound unsettling, but in truth, it's a deeply empowering perspective. Reflecting on mortality isn't about being morbid or fearful, it's about gaining clarity and focus. When we acknowledge that our time is limited, it becomes easier to let go of trivial anxieties and focus on what truly matters. Imagine worrying about a minor inconvenience like spilling coffee or being stuck in traffic. When viewed through the lens of memento mori, moments like these lose their weight. They become smaller, fleeting events in the grander scheme of life. Instead, this practice urges you to ask yourself, am I spending today in a way that aligns with my values and priorities? By consciously embracing the fact that each day is a gift, anxiety about insignificant events begins to fade, replaced by gratitude for the opportunity to live fully and authentically. Reflecting on mortality also helps us face challenges with a sense of calm and courage. When we realize how precious our time is, we're more likely to take meaningful risks, forgive others, and cherish our relationships. It's a reminder to act with purpose and appreciate every moment, no matter how ordinary. As we dive deeper, let's explore how this mindset can be applied practically in daily life to enhance inner peace and reduce unnecessary worries. Now turning to practical ways to apply memento mori in daily life, let's start with a simple yet profound practice, meditating on impermanence. This involves setting aside a few minutes each day to reflect on the transient nature of life. Think about how everything around you, relationships, possessions, even challenges, is temporary. This isn't meant to create fear, but rather to inspire gratitude and perspective. For example, before starting your day, take a moment to remind yourself, today is not guaranteed, so how can I make it meaningful? This shifts your focus from worrying about uncontrollable outcomes to embracing the present moment with purpose and intention. Another powerful method is to use subtle reminders of life's brevity as motivators for action. You could carry a symbolic object like a coin or bracelet that gently prompts you to remember the fleeting nature of time. Each time you notice it, pause and ask yourself, am I making the most of this moment? This can help you stop procrastinating on important tasks or hesitating to pursue dreams, as it brings clarity to what truly matters. You might also reflect on how this mindset can affect your relationships. Instead of fixating on minor disagreements or holding grudges, you'll find it easier to let go, forgive, and cherish the people in your life, knowing these connections are precious and irreplaceable. Lastly, consider ending each day with a brief reflection. Look back at how you spent your time and ask, if today were my last, would I be content with how I lived it? This simple exercise is not about perfection, but about aligning your actions with your values, reducing regrets, and fostering a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment. By weaving these practices into your daily routine, memento mori becomes more than a concept. It transforms into a guiding force that diminishes anxiety and empowers you to live fully. Moving forward, let's explore how embracing community and connection can further ease feelings of worry and enhance overall well-being. Now turning to the idea of finding solace in community, Stoicism teaches that we are all part of a greater whole, a concept beautifully expressed by Marcus Aurelius when he wrote, "We are made for cooperation, like feet, like hands, like eyelids, like the rows of the upper and lower teeth." This profound perspective encourages us to see ourselves not as isolated individuals, but as integral pieces of a larger human family. When we embrace this mindset, we shift our focus from personal worries to collective well-being, which can ease feelings of loneliness and anxiety. Building connections with like-minded individuals can create a sense of belonging and support during challenging times. Imagine finding a group of people who share your values or interests, whether through a book club, a local community initiative, or even an online forum. These connections can provide a safe space to share thoughts, seek advice, and draw strength from others' experiences. For instance, discussing Stoic principles with a supportive group can help you gain new perspectives on personal struggles, making them feel less overwhelming. This sense of community reminds us that we are not alone in our challenges, fostering resilience and emotional balance. Additionally, participating in acts of service, like volunteering or simply offering support to someone in need, can deepen your connection with others while simultaneously shifting your focus away from internal anxieties. Marcus Aurelius often emphasized the joy found in serving humanity, urging us to act for the benefit of the whole. By finding solace in community, we cultivate a sense of interconnection that not only reduces isolation but also reinforces the peace that comes from contributing to something bigger than ourselves. Now, let's take a closer look at how Stoicism helps us recognize and manage the limits of anxiety itself. Moving forward, building meaningful connections in your life can be a transformative way to ease anxiety, and Stoicism offers practical insights to guide this pursuit. One effective approach is to join communities that share your interests or ideals. For example, Stoicism-focused groups, whether in person or online, can offer a space to exchange thoughts, share struggles, and explore how Stoic principles can be applied to everyday challenges. These groups can serve as a source of encouragement and wisdom, as seeing how others navigate their difficulties often provides clarity for your own path. Beyond philosophy-based communities, consider engaging in activities that align with your hobbies or values, such as local art collectives, fitness classes, or environmental initiatives. These settings naturally foster connection by bringing together people who share your passions. Additionally, reaching out to trusted friends or family during anxious moments is another simple yet powerful way to create a sense of belonging. Sometimes, a heartfelt conversation can lighten the weight of your worries as you feel understood and supported. If opening up feels difficult, begin with small acts of connection, like sending a thoughtful message or inviting someone for coffee. Small steps can lead to deeper bonds over time. Not least of all, cultivating meaningful relationships often comes from giving as much as receiving. Volunteering for a cause you care about or helping someone with a task they are struggling with can create a profound sense of fulfillment and reciprocity. As Marcus Aurelius taught, when we work for the benefit of others, we also uplift ourselves. These acts of service create a ripple effect of kindness and connection that fosters emotional well-being for all involved. By actively cultivating and nurturing these meaningful relationships, you not only create a network of support but also gain a sense of purpose that lessens the grip of anxiety. Now, as we explore further into Stoicism, let's examine how understanding the limits of anxiety itself can empower us to face it with a calmer mind. Now turning to the Stoic perspective on emotions, let's explore how understanding the limits of anxiety can empower us to face it with greater ease. Stoics believe that emotions like anxiety are a natural part of being human, but they emphasize that these emotions don't have to control us. At their core, emotions stem from our judgments about situations rather than the situations themselves. This means that by shifting the way we interpret what happens around us, we can reduce the power anxiety holds over our minds. For example, suppose you feel anxious about an upcoming deadline at work. A common judgment might be, if I don't meet this perfectly, everything will fall apart. But how true is that statement really? By stepping back and questioning this judgment, you might realize that while missing the deadline could be inconvenient, it is unlikely to lead to catastrophe. This simple shift in perspective can alleviate much of the tension you feel. The Stoic teacher Epictetus summed this up brilliantly, saying, "People are not disturbed by things but by the views they take of them." This insight reminds us that events themselves are often neutral. It is our interpretation of those events that generates anxiety. Recognizing this gives us the power to pause, reassess, and choose a more balanced response. Instead of letting anxiety spiral, we can ask ourselves questions like, what's the worst that could realistically happen? And how would I handle that worst-case scenario? Often, facing these questions directly helps to deflate the overwhelming feelings tied to the unknown. Understanding the limits of anxiety also involves accepting that some situations are simply outside of our control. As we covered earlier, the dichotomy of control is a cornerstone of Stoicism. When you stop resisting the things you cannot change and instead focus on your response, anxiety begins to lose its grip. Let's say you are nervous about a storm ruining an outdoor event you've planned. Instead of fixating on the weather, which is beyond your influence, you could shift your energy toward planning alternatives, like an indoor venue or a backup date. This active reframing turns helplessness into empowerment. So, by recognizing that anxiety is not an unstoppable force but a reaction shaped by your own judgments, you can start to untangle its hold on your thoughts. This mindset not only helps to calm immediate fears but also builds long-term resilience, giving you greater confidence to face life's challenges. Moving forward, we'll delve into how embracing Stoic virtues can provide a steady anchor during anxious times. As we wrap up, let's take a moment to reflect on the 20 Stoic practices we've explored together. From understanding what's in your control, embracing negative visualization, and learning to love your fate, to practicing gratitude, maintaining presence, and finding wisdom in reflections on mortality, each principle provides a practical, time-tested approach to untangling the hold of anxiety. These aren't abstract concepts locked away in dusty philosophy books. They are actionable tools that can transform how you navigate life's challenges. The beauty of Stoicism is in its simplicity and accessibility. It reminds us that while we cannot control everything that happens to us, we can always control how we choose to respond. Now, here's the empowering part. The next step is entirely in your hands. What Stoic principle will you put into practice to calm your mind today? Will you start by journaling your thoughts to gain clarity? Or perhaps take a moment to remind yourself of what truly matters by reflecting on impermanence? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear what resonates most with you. Stoicism is not just a philosophy. It's a community of people striving for peace and resilience in an unpredictable world. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who might benefit from learning these timeless strategies. And for more content on living a Stoic life, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an opportunity to grow. Remember, Stoicism encourages us to face life's challenges with grace and wisdom. So let's step forward together, embracing each moment with courage and clarity. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.